I've never been the type of guy to argue with my boss. I'm one of those quiet, keep your head down, get your work done people. Not a troublemaker, not a slacker, just regular. Regular enough that no one at work remembers your birthday, but everyone remembers to ask you for help at 4:59 p.m. on a Friday. That kind of guy. And honestly, for the longest time, I thought it didn't matter. Because outside of work, I had something real. A wife who loved me, a home that felt warm, a baby on the way, our first. We'd been counting down the days like kids waiting for Christmas. Every kick, every doctor update, every tiny onesie we folded together, it felt like life was finally moving in the right direction. Then the universe, as usual, decided to throw a punch. It was 5:42 a.m. when my wife shook me awake, not gently but in that panicked, something is happening way that shoots adrenaline straight into your bones. Babe, it's time. My water broke. I swear it took me 3 seconds to go from unconscious to Olympic level sprinting around the bedroom. I was grabbing bags, keys, chargers, basically everything except my sanity. My wife laughed through a contraction because apparently my panic run looks like a cartoon character on Fast Forward. We got to the hospital, they checked her in, and that's when reality hit me. This is it, this is the moment. I'm about to become a father. I held her hand through every contraction, every wave of pain that made her squeeze my fingers like she was trying to snap them in half. And honestly, she could have broken all 10 and I wouldn't have cared. About 2 hours in, once things stabilized a bit, I stepped aside to send the one text I knew I had to send. Hey, my wife's in labor, admitted at the hospital. I need 2 days, my manager Chris replied in under 30 seconds, which red flag number one. Nobody replies to anything that fast unless it's bad. I opened the message. 2 days. Are you sure it has to be today? I stared at my phone like it had just insulted my mother. Oh yes, Chris, pretty sure my kid can't reschedule his entrance into the world. I didn't say that out loud, of course, but man, I thought it. I typed back, yes, it's today, she's in active labor. His reply, I wish I was exaggerating. Can your parents manage things while you work, or your wife's parents? My soul left my body. My parents live 900 miles away. Her parents are in another country, and even if they were next door, who asks that? Who tells a man, hey, I know your wife is literally pushing out a human, but can someone else handle her? I kinda need those reports. I took a breath, deleted the angry reply I wanted to send, typed something neutral. No, they can't, and I shouldn't be working while she's in labor. 5 seconds later, could you work from the hospital? Hospitals have Wi-Fi. I actually laughed, out loud, right in the middle of a contraction. My wife looked at me like I'd lost my mind. And honestly, I was 5 seconds from texting my manager a photo of the delivery room and saying, pick a socket, Chris, should I plug the laptop in next to the fetal monitor, or maybe by the epidural cart? But again, I didn't, because I have this disease called being responsible. I told him calmly, no. I won't be working during childbirth. He didn't reply after that, but the damage was done. A knot formed in my stomach, that same knot I'd felt for months, every time he hinted I wasn't dedicated enough. Every time he reminded me my position was high demand. Every time he guilt-tripped me about taking sick days or signing off at a normal hour. I put my phone away and tried to focus on my wife. But between contractions, she looked at me and said, work giving you trouble? I forced a smile. Nothing we can't handle, she squeezed my hand. Don't lie to me right now, babe, I'm in enough pain. And that's when something inside me cracked. I told her everything, not in detail, I didn't need to stress her out, but enough. Her expression changed from pain to sadness. Not for herself, for me. You shouldn't have to explain wanting to be here, she whispered. And I felt that in my bones because she was right. The hours passed, the contractions grew closer. In between every wave of pain, I kept replaying my manager's messages in my head. I felt guilty, not for missing work, but for feeling like I needed permission not to work. How messed up is that? Here I was, watching the woman I love fight through the hardest experience of her life, and part of my mind was still stuck in this corporate fear loop, terrified that choosing my family meant risking my job. I hated that. I hated how much I'd internalized it. I hated that fear of losing my job had become louder than I'm about to become a father. Technology, hybrid work, constant notifications, they trained us to be available like machines. To feel guilty for being human, and I was done feeling guilty. That realization hit me somewhere around 3:22 p.m. when my wife crushed my hand again. Babe, she gasped, this kid better look like me because you're not doing anything to help right now. I laughed, she laughed, and for a moment I forgot about work entirely. I remembered what mattered, our baby, our family, this moment. Not my boss, not his deadlines, not his expectations, and definitely not his Wi-Fi from the hospital fantasy. Things got intense fast after that, nurses rushing, monitors beeping. My wife giving me that if I survive this, you owe me a puppy look. And then the moment came, the cry, the first breath. The tiny, squishy, beautiful human placed in my arms, our son, I cried, my wife cried. The nurse cried, though she claimed it was allergies, but we all know that was a lie. I held him against my chest and thought, if I lose my job for this, it was worth it. I don't think anything prepares you for the first time you hold your child. Movies don't do it justice, books don't even come close. It's like your entire universe shrinks into this tiny, wrinkly bundle that can barely open his eyes, and somehow that small thing becomes the biggest part of your life. For a while, everything else just fell away. The nurses did their checks. My wife fell asleep with the pure exhaustion of a marathon runner. I sat in a recliner, my son against my chest, and just breathed. No deadlines, no Slack messages. No managers asking me to work from a hospital bed, just my family, just peace, but peace is temporary, and reality, especially the corporate kind, always finds a way back. My phone buzzed. At first, I ignored it. I didn't want anything pulling me out of that moment, but then it buzzed again and again. And again, 12 notifications in under 2 minutes. I finally picked it up, fully expecting my mom or siblings asking for baby photos. Nope. It was Chris, 3 missed calls, 9 messages, a voicemail. My stomach dropped. I scrolled through the texts. Need an update on the client ticket. You didn't upload the draft before leaving. When can you jump on a call? Are you free for 15 minutes? Hello, this is time sensitive. We can't afford delays right now. At least give me an ATA. Are you ignoring me? Ignoring him, dude. I was literally holding a newborn human. I took a breath, the slow, controlled kind you take when you're trying not to throw your phone across the room, and I put it face down on the table. A few minutes later, my wife woke up, sleepy, exhausted, beautiful. She looked at me like she was seeing the world differently, and maybe she was. Everything okay? She whispered. I didn't want to ruin the moment, so I lied with a smile. Yeah, just work stuff, she frowned softly. You don't have to deal with that right now. And she was right, but I felt trapped. Fear crept in. Fear of losing the job that paid for this hospital room. Fear of disappointing the manager who already treated me like I owed him my soul. Fear of looking unreliable for choosing my family over a spreadsheet. That fear was toxic, and I hated that it lived inside me. Morning came, visitors came and went, my wife rested, the baby slept. I stepped out into the hallway to stretch my legs, and when I checked my phone again, I saw this. We need to talk, call me ASAP. I didn't want to. Every fiber of my being said, forget him, hold your baby. Be here, but fear is a powerful motivator, so I stepped into the quiet corner near the vending machines and called him back. He answered on the first ring. Finally, he snapped. Why haven't you responded? I closed my eyes. Chris, my wife gave birth yesterday. And congratulations, he said flatly, but we still have responsibilities. You should have anticipated this better. Anticipated childbirth, my eye twitched. Sir, I said slowly, I informed you the moment we got here. I asked for 2 days, and that was unreasonable, he cut in. We're behind schedule, and communication is part of your job. I swear, for a moment, I actually forgot how to speak. Chris, I was in a delivery room. My wife was literally in labor. And, he said that one little word, and it cracked something inside me. And I said, voice shaking but steady, that's more important than work. He paused just for a beat, then said, you're supposed to be committed. We all make sacrifices. You should have brought your laptop. I laughed. I actually laughed, not because it was funny, because it was surreal. Are you hearing yourself? I asked. Yes, he replied confidently. You're the one not listening. Every role has expectations. If you can't handle pressure, maybe this position isn't right for you. And there it was, the threat, the thing I'd been afraid of for months. The thing that kept me answering late-night emails and working weekends. The thing that kept me nodding, apologizing, bending. Maybe this position isn't right for you, the corporate guillotine. I felt something inside me change, a shift. A click, a realization. If I could be punished for being at my child's birth, then nothing I did would ever be enough anyway. I finally said it. Chris, I'm taking my 2 days. This conversation is over. He raised his voice. You can't just, I can, I interrupted. And I am. Then I hung up, my hands shook, my heart raced. But when I walked back into the room and saw my wife smiling down at our son, the fear evaporated. For the first time in a long time, I felt human again. Not a machine, not an employee, not a number, a husband, a father, a man who knew what mattered. But I had no idea what storm was waiting for me once I left that hospital. And trust me, it was coming. I didn't sleep that night. Not because of the baby, he slept better than both of us combined, but because every time I closed my eyes, all I could see were those stupid messages from my manager. Every can't your parents manage? Every can you work from the hospital? Every 2 days, are you sure? I kept replaying it like some awful highlight reel of corporate insanity. At 3 a.m., while my wife slept with our son in her arms, I stepped into the hallway. The hospital was quiet, just the soft hum of machines and the slow shuffle of nurses on night rounds. And I thought, this isn't normal. This shouldn't be normal. And for the first time in months, I stopped blaming myself for thinking it. The next morning, my phone buzzed again. Chris, of course. Hey, just checking in. When can we expect you back online? Back online. Like I'd gone on a beach vacation, like I wasn't standing in a hospital with my newborn son. I ignored him. He messaged again. If you can at least send the morning update, that would help. I blocked him, blocked my boss. At 7:54 a.m. on a Wednesday, and I swear I felt my blood pressure drop 15 points instantly. Around noon, my wife was breastfeeding while scrolling her phone when she suddenly snorted. What? I asked. She turned the screen toward me. A Reddit post, trending, top of the page, thousands of comments, hundreds of thousands of upvotes. Title, my boss told me to work from the hospital while my wife was giving birth. My jaw dropped. Someone else, a stranger, had posted the story, someone who had been in the same boat, same treatment, same guilt, same pressure, same corporate nonsense. And the comments, brutal. Fire that manager, report him to HR. This is abuse masked as professionalism. Work-life balance is dead. Dude, spend time with your kid. The job won't remember your name after you leave. People weren't just angry, they were united. Work shouldn't demand you sacrifice your family, your humanity, your moments that matter. It was like reading a global chorus saying, "You're not crazy, this is wrong." I scrolled for what felt like hours. Every comment felt like someone peeling a weight off my chest. And then I saw the one that changed everything. Op, if you're reading this, you need to stand up for yourself. This isn't dedication, it's exploitation. My wife nudged me. That one, she said, read it again. So I did slowly, and something in me shifted. This wasn't an isolated moment. This was a pattern, a system built on the idea that people should be available 24/7 like machines, not humans. And I was finally done being part of it. The day we were discharged from the hospital, I walked into the house holding my son like he was made of glass. My wife went straight to bed, exhausted, glowing, half asleep. I set the car seat down on the dining table, looked around at our home, and thought, he deserved better than the version of me that work was turning me into. A man afraid to take leave. A man apologizing for being human. A man worrying about deadlines while holding his newborn. I wasn't going to be that father. I wasn't going to be that husband. I wasn't going to be that man, so I wrote an email, not dramatic, not angry, not petty, just honest. Subject, resignation. Body, I'm choosing my family, thank you for the opportunity. Sent, simple, clean, no explanations, no apologies, no defending myself. He didn't deserve that emotional labor. A few minutes later, the phone rang. I didn't answer, emails poured in. I didn't open them. He called again, blocked again. Done. 3 days later, HR called me, not about my resignation, but about him. Apparently multiple employees had filed complaints. Apparently this wasn't his first time. Apparently the Reddit post had made its way to the company Slack. Apparently upper management was losing their minds because the story was going viral enough that news sites wanted to cover it. Corporate panic is an incredible thing to witness from the outside. I stayed polite, answered their questions, told them I appreciated the follow-up, and then I went back to rocking my son to sleep. The following week, I got another call. Not from HR, from an old colleague. You didn't hear, Chris got placed on administrative leave, internal investigation. I blinked, not happy, not gloating, just satisfied, not because he got punished, but because the world finally caught up to what I already knew. You can't build a company on the backs of people you refuse to treat like humans. Now, my son is 3 months old. I found a new job, a better one. One where people actually say things like, family first always. I never understood how healing those words could be until someone finally meant them. I'm not scared anymore, not apologizing for being human. Not shrinking myself to fit someone else's expectations. And yeah, sometimes I replay the moment I held my boy for the first time, the moment I blocked my boss, the moment I resigned, the moment I finally chose the life I wanted. And every time I do, I think, I didn't lose anything, I gained everything. Because at the end of the day, a job is a job, but family is your whole damn world, and I'm never letting work take that from me again.